All right, time for response. It's on your heart. What is God stirring in you from this? What have you come to see and understand?
I think of God as the shepherd the easiest in my mind, and so this psalm is a beautiful picture in my mind. I'm also very visual. So I wrote this. I don't really know what it is, if it's encouragement or what it is. But I wrote, if the Lord is the good shepherd, then that means that he sees all and knows exactly what we need. He knows our limits. He sees what's coming. He's constantly watching. He is the good shepherd. That must also mean that his sovereignty is good. He sees all, and when something is happening that feels void of him, that's not actually what's happening. He knows what will be good for his sheep. When there is something that feels out of control, when it feels like he's left us to control and figure it out ourselves, that is a lie. He has not left. He will provide. He has not stopped knowing you, knowing what you need. This must mean that we trust. It's a call to abandon our own efforts and seek to hear his voice, learn it, recognize his staff and rod, and understand his heart for us. The trials that happen in the valley is not void of our shepherd. The trials are truly a call to trust, to listen, and to follow. This is abundant life, to rely on him, to let him prove himself. Let us, brothers and sisters, walk toward this way of life. This is what we were made for. And we were going to share last week on Celebration Sunday, but there was so much to celebrate already. But Ty and I, we're getting married in a month. And long story it's very exciting. But one of the things that kind of happened out of nowhere is we all of a sudden needed a place to live. Ty needed a place to live, like, in 10 days. This was like 2 weeks ago. Like, he needed to find a place to live in 10 days. And we needed a place to live once we were married. And so we thought that we had this one place, but the Lord kind of shut that door, and we were like, we thought that this was our best. Like, we thought that this is what you, like, the best that you had for us, God. Because it was amazing, and it seemed to all be working out. It just all kind of lined up, and then all of a sudden it was like hard door slam, like, in our face. And we were like, what in the world? Like, okay, looks like we're going to have to settle, I guess, on something. Like, Ty's going to have to go live with friends or something, I don't know, until we get married, and then who knows. Not that would have been bad. But, just not the best. And so we're like, okay, I guess we're going to have to settle. And we had 10 days, again, to find somewhere for him to live before his lease was up August 1st. Or July 31st. He needed to be living somewhere August 1st. And so we had been through a couple of these situations before where it was kind of like last minute, God really needs to pull through, and if he doesn't, we like don't know what is going to happen. And so we kind of had the idea that like the Lord was going to do something. We knew that he was going to do something, but again, once this best option was kind of off the table, we kind of said, okay, I guess like we're going to need to be settling in some area. Long story short, the Lord, my mom sent Ty and I a little Facebook Marketplace ad, and we messaged the seller, like basically on our way to another house to go see another house that was like 25 minutes away. It was nice, but it was more expensive than we were hoping to pay. And so anyway, we go and we see the house. We're kind of and then we hear back from this seller that we heard on Facebook, and there was like no pictures on the Facebook thing. It was kind of random. It was like a 1-bedroom, 1-bath in Wolfeboro. We were like, okay, like hope it's fine. And so she messages us back, and she's like, tomorrow there's a open house from 10 to 12. So we go and we look at it, and we're talking to her. Ty's talking to her, and she's a believer, and she knows the Lord, and she loves the Lord. And we were like, okay, but there was several people on like that had applied for this one spot, and so it was beautiful. It was this like, it's a house, it's not even an apartment. It's within our price range. It has a beautiful porch, a beautiful backyard. Ty and I, we talked about, okay, what is our desires, what are like, what's on our list of like, these are the things that we really want, and all of those things were in this house. And so by Saturday, we had looked at the house. We had applied to the apartment. By Monday morning, I get a call from her, and there had been some issues with like the background checks on our end to send to her, and so we were trying to figure that out. By Monday morning, she calls, and by the way, literally, Ty needed to be out of his house by a week later. So Monday, he needed to be out of his house on Sunday, like of the following week. She calls me right as soon as I'm going into work, and she is like, "Hey, Mia," and it was the one day that it was raining really crazy on a Monday morning, and she was like, "This weather," and I was like, "I know." So I was like, "What's going on?" And she's like, "I just can't keep it in anymore, and I can't wait to tell you that you and Ty have had it the whole time. Like, we haven't even had to think like twice about giving you guys this place." And I just like start crying, and I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, like thank you." And she's like, we just know that this is going to be so good. Not only we're blessing you guys, but you're blessing us." And so she literally the next day we signed the lease, we got the keys, and Ty's been living there for over a week. But that all to say that he really is the good shepherd. And I've seen that in real life play out in this situation and in this, what the Lord has done. And so I think the Lord was keeping us off from telling this testimony because I think he needed us to tell you guys, like, he really does provide. We had 10 days to find an apartment within our price range in Wolfeboro. Like, that literally, like, I don't know, a lot of you are looking for homes right now and are looking for places to live. That just does not happen. Like, that does not happen, and our price range is not big. So, God is really good, and he truly is the good shepherd. And I just wanted to share a testimony of that and share what I had written. So, yeah, thank you guys. And thank you for your guys' prayer. I know a lot of you were praying for us, so it's also the testimony of the prayer of his people and of his church. So thank you guys.
I wasn't planning on getting up today, but I have to because I was supposed to move into Ty's apartment as well, and the door was shut on me, and several doors were shut. It's been an absolute roller coaster of a week. But the phone call finally came, and I'm in the Hope House with my daughter. Praise God. And I may never leave. I love it there.
So how many of you people are going to start praying for God to break your legs? That was some good teaching, Justin. Thank you. So I was going through Psalm 23, and I just got stuck on the cup. Kristen and I, we had gotten together with some friends month and a half, 2 months ago, studying God's grace. And I learned something about the cup, and I'm going to share it with you guys. But God had me thinking about this for a week, and then he woke me up last night, and I was thinking about it for 2 hours, and he's just giving me revelation, and then this morning too, and it was just, so this cup, I don't think it's you might not be what you think it is, right? So this cup, my cup runneth over, right? And we think of it as God's just pouring out so much that it fills up my cup, and it's just spilling out. I can't contain it, right? And yeah, God's abundance, He's going to spill out. It's going to spill out of my little cup, and I'm thinking, maybe my cup's this big, or maybe my cup's this big, right? It's still going to spill out, or maybe I have a big gulp, right? God's provision would spill out of this tent, right? Our God's a big God, right? So what we learned was, and that in a custom back in David's day, if someone came to visit you, and you put out a cup, and you might pour. Whatever amount you poured for them is how long they would stay, how long you wanted them to stay. So if you just want them to stay for a little while, you just pour a little bit, you drink your little drink, and get on your way, right? Or you could fill the cup up, and they could hang out with you for a while, drinking the drink. But what the custom was, is if you poured your cup and you kept pouring and it's overflowing, what that means is you can stay as long as you want. I'm just really excited that you're here, so you can stay as long as you want, and that's what that symbolized. So it's a cool symbolism, right? And so I'm thinking about Psalm 23. God set a table for me. And he's sitting at the table. And on that table is a feast that he set for me. And there's all these delights. So God's there, and he's just like, I've got this table for you, and I've been preparing all these delights for you, a lifetime worth of them. And I've been doing it since before you were born. And I've got them right here at this table. Sit down with me, and I'm going to pour this cup out, and you can stay as long as you want at my table. You can stay as long as you want at my table. And Lord, it's just beautiful, right? So I just want to talk with you a while. I want to share the things that I've got to share with you. I'm going to tell you secrets if you'll just sit with me at this table that I've prepared for you. You can stay. You can stay as long as you want. You belong here. You're now family. You're family. You belong at this table. But sometimes we get up from the table and we walk away, and God is looking at us, and he's sad. But he's saying, this table's still here for you. This table is still here for you. I'm still here. The chair is still here. You can come back anytime you want. And we go and we might sit at somebody else's table, as Justin was saying. Right? We might sit at somebody else's table. We think that feast is going to be better than the feast that God had for us. Or maybe we're eating by ourselves. We're just eating by ourselves. But God's like, Ben's not here, is he? Ben sang at my house, come on back, the bread is still warm. Which is just a beautiful phrase, right? God is just like, come on back, the bread is still warm, I'm still here, and I've still got so many things to share with you. I just want to talk with you. We can pick up that conversation, and we can have it again. And he just welcomes us back. He just, pull your chair a little closer. It doesn't matter what you've done, where you've been, what you've been doing. Come on back to the table. That's what that cup means. So this cup, it's not this is my provision. I get this little cup of stuff. It's an invitation. It's an invitation to spend your life with the God of the universe, where he will just talk with you and share with you and guide you and give you these delights that he's been preparing for you. Right? That's what God shared with me last night. And it was just, I wanted to share it with you guys. But that cup is a invitation for you, church.
One of the things that I couldn't get past was verse 1 in Psalm 23. And the thing that I got stuck on was the fact that it says, I shall not want. And I stopped and I was thinking about that. And the truth is, that's not always true with me. And why is it that I'm not content? Because maybe I don't realize how great our God is. And like Scott was just talking about, that the table's set. And I don't realize it. And I sometimes, like Justin said, I'm looking at other things to maybe fulfill a need, but it's already filled. And all I have to do is recognize and acknowledge that God has already filled all my needs, and that I do not need anything other than what he gives me. And it's a struggle. And, you get distracted by things. I do. And it's comforting to know that he has already provided for me. I don't need anything else other than what he provides for me. And so I just got stuck on that first verse. I guess the word is contentment. Am I content? Am I content with what is going on in my life and how things are handled and where I stand with God? When I'm not content, that means I'm not allowing God to do what he has already done for me. And so I'm just thankful that he's already provided for my needs, and I just have to be content with what he gives me.
Morning, church. Morning, Pastor Justin. My name's Timothy. I'm friends of Harrison and Ben, and they've been telling me what they've been doing in fellowship in church, and I'm from Maine, Wells, Maine, so my first opportunity the Lord's provided to come here. 7 years ago, we were with some other brothers, and we were praying for revival, and one of my friends said, I see tent meetings all across New England. And I see not only that, but I see people getting healed and encountering the true shepherd. So see, you're an answer to prayer 7 years ago that God was going to provide for his sheep in this territory and unveil his character. So I just want to share with you what he unveiled to me and confirmed to share it with you. As the good shepherd, And as Justin was sharing with you and put a picture up and telling you about going the highway, when the Lord was with me and studying, he says he's a good shepherd because he keeps you in a place of safety. See, there's only one thing that Justin was talking about that the shepherd did when you have a predator, when you have somebody who wants to take your life and take everything from you. And Jesus knows how to keep us in the place of safety. He knows how to keep your soul from being put into that place of hell and from all those hooks that the enemy and all those places the enemy is. And the concept is very good in a word picture. See, you guys know this because you know what the Kangamangas Highway is around here. For those of you who don't know, it's a very steep path with steep ravines off of it. And if I get up on this stage and I'm not walking and I take a step off, I'm going to fall. And see, if you're driving down the Kangamangas Highway and you don't know, and there's only one way, one lane to go in, that's the only place of safety. And see, when a shepherd was taking them through the valley, they had to go where a steep ravine would be on one side and a hillside on the other. And there's only that one narrow area. And that's why Jesus says, I'm the path, I'm the way, that you have to step right here and not to the left and not to the right. You have to follow this one step. See, if you ever watch the old Western movies, they would have the robbers sitting on the top of the pass and the horses had to go through that one pass. That's what Jesus is telling you. You stay on my pass. My pass, that's that one area to walk in. That's the place of safety. That's the place of confidence. That's the place of protection. And you won't fall off. You won't fall into what the enemy is trying to keep you into. You will be confident. You will go through the pass, and you will be secure, and you will end up in the glory area that he's telling you. Thank you for letting me share with you and for fellowship today.